Hey guys, it's Matt Malone. I stream iRacing. This is a list of 10 things that I wish iRacing would implement in the next update or in future updates. Now, this isn't like a list of things that it's like, oh, I want them to get this car or this track or fix a tire model or whatever. This is quality of life updates and just little things that I think would make our life much easier. So let's just hop right into it. All right, the very first thing, and they used to have this on the old website, is the ability to hover over the amount of people that are registered for a multi-class series, and it would show you how many people are actually registered and in what car for the upcoming race. Now you say, hey, they already have this, just go to the entries page, and no. This is just people that happen to be in practice or maybe registered for the race, and you got to do some guessing game and get your calculator out. No. Just hover over the amount of people registered for a race, and you can see each person signed up for each car. It's not that hard. They used to have it in the old website. All right, next up on the list is the ability to bind force feedback to a rotary on your wheel or a button box. There is absolutely no option for this. I wish it was just like either traction control or ABS or brake bias, but no. There is absolutely no reason why they shouldn't have this. You can bind a button to change your horizon, FOV, all that kind of stuff, but nothing for the force feedback. Now, I do understand that if you cycle through your black boxes, you can cycle through down and then adjust it from there. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about just setting up in the controls a increase force feedback, decrease force feedback, easy. All right, number 3 on my list is the ability to bind a button so you can mark an event in the replay. So let's say you're driving around, you're doing a race. You know, races can be half an hour, 45, an hour long, and something happens in the race. And instead of having to remember like what lap it happened on, you just want to be able to go back and find that event super easy. So you just push a button on your button box or your wheel, and it would mark an event in the replay timeline. That way, after the race, you go back, you can see all your little flags that you may have put in there, so you can easily find key moments of the race and be able to watch the replay back. Now, if they got real crazy with this, you'd be able to implement kind of a buffer, so you could decide like, hey, every time I push the button, it's actually going to set that event tag like 10 seconds before I actually pushed it. Mark event in replay so you can easily see key moments of the race afterwards. All right, I can't be the only one who's sees the grid timer going down to under a minute, and you're like, oh wait, I better check my setup. So you go into the garage, you're looking at it, maybe you're having some issues with ride height, maybe the setup is not passing, and you're like, oh, I'm gonna miss the grid, because there's absolutely zero indication of how long you have to actually get on the grid, because as soon as you go into the garage or you go into the options, the timer goes away. Why? I have no idea why. Like, when would you need to see the timer more than when you're in the garage right before gridding? It blows my mind. So the fact that they don't have this is crazy. So keep the grid timer on screen while I'm still in the garage or in the options menu. Maybe this will change with the new UI, who knows, but that's crazy, right? All right, the next one kind of has to do with that as well, is that currently, if you grid into a race and you're in your car on the grid waiting and you think, oh no, I have my qualifying fuel in. If you escape out of your car and everyone else grids, the race will start and you will have to start from the pits. If you leave the grid, it's like you're trying to defuse a bomb. I mean, you got to get in there, get your fuel, get back on grid as soon as you can. Because like I said, if everyone else grids, the race will start and you miss out. All right, next up is, why don't they have additional profiles in the options menu for different wheels that you may have? Right now, there is one checkbox that you can make, which is basically like creating a new profile for controls. I suggest that they should have 6 to 10 different profiles, and you could rename them based on the name of your rims or your wheels or whatever setup that you have. I think that would make it a lot easier for people. Right now, currently, I use SimHub in combination with VJoy to be able to use all the different rims that I have, so I don't have to mess around with using custom controls for each car, and it gets really hairy there. So to make things easier for members that use multiple different types of rims or setups, I think that they should have the ability to have a bunch of profiles. That way you can select between all of them to make life much easier. Hey, before we move on with the list of updates, I wanted to let you know that the merch store is live, and you can be sporting a sweatshirt like this, the Been There, Race There sweatshirt with track maps on the back. We got mugs, hats, t-shirts, and more. Check out the merch store, guys. It's live right now. All right, we're going to be heading over to the UI now, and here's some things that I'd like to see changed in the UI. The notifications. You join a practice, you join a race, you join a time trial, you leave the session, all these notifications start popping up. I don't really need to know the results of a practice session that I was in for like 3 minutes prior to a race session. If we could somehow choose which notifications that would pop up, that would be great. If they were even color-coded, if like a race notification was slightly different color than a practice notification, or just the ability to choose which ones pop up and don't pop up. And then also a clear all button, to where if you have a bunch of notifications, you just hit one button and they all clear out. That would be nice. But those notifications are they're a little overwhelming sometimes. All right, staying on the UI, when you're looking at race results page in a multi-class race, for this instance, we're looking at the Falcon Tire series, to where you have LMP3s and the GT4. Now, if you're racing in the GT4, all of the gaps tell you what you were to the overall leaders, the LMP3s, but you're racing against GT4s. I wish they would show the gap between you and the class leaders instead of to the overall leaders. And also, it doesn't show you who had the fastest lap in the slower classes. So I wish it would be more separated, because a multi-class race is multiple races going on at once. So we're not racing against the LMP3s, we're racing against everybody in our class. So I wish it would show gaps to your class, and it would show fastest lap time for your class. And also, staying right here, don't go anywhere, I wish it would have a button on the results page that would quickly send you to the series overall championship points page, the series stats page. So one click of a button, it would send you to overall championship points so far for the season in that series. Easy. All right, and the very last update suggestion that I have for iRacing, a refresh button on the UI. Please, this is real nitpicky stuff, I know, but when you go back to the UI, sometimes it's just blank. And I understand that, because they don't want to be sending stuff. If you're in a race, you don't need to be getting all that information. I get it, right? But you can't just click on the button. You have to click official series and then back to up next, or vice versa, or whatever. Why don't they have just on the right side a little refresh button? Boom, you get back right to where you were. Okay, I'm trying to sign up for a Mazda race while I'm in a Mazda race. I can't be going through these extra steps now. Come on. All right, guys, let me know what you thought about my 10 suggested updates. I got more too. Let me know down in the comments what your if they could only implement one of these updates, which one would you choose? Let me know down in the comments below. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Check out the live streams over on Twitch and right here on YouTube, and we'll see you next time.